are going to introduce the past simple and the past continuous. We are going to differentiate between them, to know each forms, and to write examples on each rule. Let's start. First, as we are used to, we are going to start with the functions. So the functions, the first function is for the past simple or the simple past. So the simple past, also called past simple, is a verb tense which is used to show that a completed action took place at a specific time in the past. The simple past is also frequently used to talk about past habits and generalization. Now, we use the past simple to talk about finished actions that happened and stayed in the past. So the actions are still in the past. So when we want to talk or to describe something that happened in the past, we use the past simple or the simple past tense. They are both correct. If you say past simple or simple past, they are both correct. Now, the function of the past continuous. The function is the past continuous, also called the past progressive, is a verb tense which is used to show that an ongoing past action was happening at a specific moment of interruption, or that two ongoing actions were happening at the same time, which means that you have one action and another action. The second action interrupts the first action. Okay, so when you want to talk about interrupted action, you have to use the past continuous. We can say past continuous or past progressive, and they are both correct. So this is the main difference, that when you talk about the past, you use the past simple. When you talk about ongoing action, a continuous action, unfinished action, or interrupted action, you use the past continuous tense. Now, we have in the past simple two forms of the verbs. So the first form is the regular verbs and the second is the irregular verbs. So the regular verbs are the verbs ending with ed. Verbs ending with ed, they are the regular verbs, such as wanted, played, and talked. Again, wanted, played, and talked. While the irregular verbs are verbs with special forms, such as ate, wrote, went. So eat, ate, write, wrote, and go, went. Okay, the irregular verbs don't end with ed, but they have a special form for each verb. Now, we are going to recognize the forms of the two tenses, which are the affirmative form, the negative form, and the interrogative or the question form. First, the affirmative, which is in the simple past or the past simple, subject plus verb to. The verb to of the verb is also the past tense plus object. Let's take examples. She played tennis. She is the subject, so the subject can be any type of nouns or a pronoun. Okay, she is the subject, played is the verb to, tennis the complement or the object. So played is verb to. Now, let's move to the affirmative form in the past continuous tense. We have subject plus was or were plus verb. Now here you have to notice the difference. Plus verb plus ing. We already have an auxiliary, or let's say we already have a past tense verb, which is was or were. So let's take an example. I was watching TV when she called. I was watching TV when she called. So you can divide the sentence into two divisions. The first one is past continuous and the other is past simple. The negative form, subject plus did plus not plus object. Now it is obvious that you can't use the subject to negate a sentence, so you have to add auxiliary or helping verb, which is verb to do, but in the past simple becomes did. So subject plus did plus not plus the object. He didn't go to school yesterday. He didn't go to school yesterday. Okay, now let's move to the past continuous form. Subject plus was plus were. Now, since that was or were are already verbs or auxiliaries, we can add not to them. Okay, so was or were plus not plus verb ing plus the object. She wasn't studying when I called her. She wasn't studying when I called her. She is the subject. Was plus not, so it become wasn't, and studying is the verb plus ing plus the complement of the sentence. The interrogative form. Now in the past simple we flip between the subject and the auxiliary, so the sentence becomes did plus subject plus verb 1, which is the base form, plus object. So did you bring your books with you? Did you bring your books with you? In the past continuous, was or were plus the subject. Also, we flip between the subject and was or were, plus verb plus ing and the complement of the sentence. Was she drinking soda after dinner? Was she drinking soda after dinner? Okay, now we have keywords or adverbs for each tense. The simple past keywords are yesterday, last month, last year, or any old date. But in the past continuous, while, when, or as. Now we have contractions for each tense. In the past simple, did not becomes didn't, so you have to add the apostrophe to contract the word. In the past continuous, was becomes